So I got nothing for After Dark.
I have nothing either, but you are lucky that I'm here tonight. I almost went to see the Rolling Stones again.
Again?
Yeah, they're in Philly tonight, and I think Josh and Scott went.
I was going to say, we again, if it wasn't the day that it is, I would have canceled too because it's a big day in the Dabbleverse, so.
Oh, thank God. I know there's all kinds of talk, dabble fuck posters or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, they decided because Josh wanted to see him again, and Scott was interested, and because New York was the first of the concerts, the tickets were a little more expensive because that was the first on the East Coast, I think.
Yeah.
Then they added the second show, and that kind of lowered the prices. And then I don't know if they had one show or two shows in Philly, but either way, now that it's the East Coast and the third or fourth show, the tickets were half of what we paid. And he was like, "You want to go?" And I'm like, he's like, "Scott's in." And I'm like, I record that night and I'm being fiscally responsible, so I'm going to pass.
I appreciate it. That's a pricey ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I know next week we have to figure out what's going on. Not you and I, but the wrestling shows.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all record on Thursdays.
Yeah.
And next Thursday, AEW is taping TV in Allentown, and we're all going.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad. I hope you all have fun watching the wrestling.
We are. We're going to have a good time watching the wrestling. I'm excited.
Good. Look at me being supportive.
That's right. And then we got Sokol's this Friday. Return for LVAC. First time back at Sokol since December. My first time at his show almost in a year.
Wow.
Yeah, because whatever the last Sokol show was last year was June-ish.
Right.
They had a drive-in show that got rained out.
Mm-hmm.
I got COVID for the September show.
Was that at Sokol?
That was at no, September was at Steel Stacks, the big place.
Okay.
Then December was my kids' piano recital. And then because they were moving their entire operations, the t-shirt business from wherever they were to the new place.
Right.
They didn't this is their first show for the new year.
Oh, look at that. Which one was the one Skinny Jeans went to? That was the one I'm sad I missed.
That was the December one.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're doing a week today. They're doing a little mini film festival thing. Included in it is some dude did a documentary about the LVAC company, everything that they've been through in their time. Then Friday is the show at Sokol's, and then Saturday they're doing an event at the new place, which is a grand opening thing where they're going to have bands and live wrestling and all this other crazy shit,
So how much of that are you going to? Just the Friday show?
I'm just doing Friday. Okay. Yeah, Saturday I already am spoken for. It's my little nephew's birthday party. They're in from out of state because they were in this past weekend for a wedding. I was at a wedding this past weekend. And they're like, all right, well, we'll just be in for the week and we'll kind of bookend it with the wedding here and then his birthday here at the end of the 7 days that we're in.
Look at you being the busy guy of the two of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like I said, got AEW next Thursday, then got Pokemon the first weekend in July. And then I might be heading out for Root Beer Wrestling that second week in July.
I think even I know about that.
Yeah, you know about that because you're in the secret group.
Right. My PayPal's open, people. I have no fucking shame. My PayPal's open. But it's got to be worth my while to, break the Sposto trust. But
That's
I will.
True.
I will.
Enough to at least give me a cut of the fucking money, yeah?
Yeah. I could be bought. That's not the problem. It's just my health.
I could be bought too. I said on Ad Odds. I said $200 to the Ad Odds Patreon tier or $100 to the Longbox tier.
The Longbox is the deal. Go to that one.
Yeah.
Go to that one. Hell, I'll PayPal me $75 and I'll tell you. I'll undercut myself because I only get 50 of the PayPal, but I'll get all of the 75.
Friends and family.
Friends and family, definitely.
Yeah. But that's one of those things where, like, I'm more excited about that than I think everybody else is.
I'm shocked.
And I'm trying, like, that was my way of, like, hey, who wants to go so I don't have to drive 6 hours by myself?
Oh, I was thinking of going too, but my back hurts and I don't want to go.
I think I'm going to wait until we're after AEW next week. Like, LVAC this week, AEW next week. On the way home from AEW, I'll have everyone in the car, so I'll really be able to work them, you know?
Yeah.
Be like, hey, guys, come on. It'll be a good time for me, right? Come on.
Mm-hmm. Joe, I'm busy that week, so
I wasn't even going to ask you.
What? That hurt me. I want to enjoy you enjoying the root beer wrestling.
All right. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, I've done it before. I just don't want to do it. I'm too
old now. That was a different.
Yeah.
It was a different time. Don't you have
2 years ago? No, it was more than 2 years ago.
Fire up the chopper.
Yeah, the chopper's in the shop.
Just, you know what? Suck it up and buy a plane ticket.
Yeah. That's Wilkesboro to Cleveland, fucking. Oh. But then I gotta get I ain't getting no goddamn Uber. Uber's a scam. I can't believe. I am shocked when I hear people get Ubers for their trips that they're on.
Mm.
And they're like, yeah, you know, because of surge pricing, to get from the hotel to the resort, it was $80. And I'm like, you could have paid $80 on a rental car and just for the weekend and just done whatever the fuck you wanted, right?
Yeah, like I've heard stories like, oh, you go to the airport and you know, you're in that area and it's the surge dynamic pricing or whatever. And it's like if you walk 2 blocks away, like the price drops by 2/3. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because you're not at the airport. I don't know. These people with their Ubers and their Lyfts and their whatevers. I've never done an Uber or a Lyft.
No, I've never. I think I was in a taxi once in like 1995, and that was about it.
Back in the day when we used to go to the Javits Center wasn't the Comic-Con. It was like God only knows, the Big Apple Con, the New York. It was called the New York Comic-Con originally, and then that became the Big Apple Con when the Javits Center got the New York Comic-Con. And there was a whole bunch of like problems with maybe not paying off the fire department, you know, the fire code guy.
Sure.
All that stuff went sideways. But when we come in on the bus for one day, like we didn't do the cons like we do now. We would come in and be like, oh, well, where is it? It'd be like, it's way over here. We would get a cab to go do that, especially back, because that was the day you were buying 50-cent books, and I would come home with 400 or 500 of them.
Sure.
And he'd be like, oh, I got to carry all these now. Get a cab. So I've done a cab numerous times.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. And again, God bless you, you know, Uber and Lyft people in 2024, whatever year this is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Seems just a lot like it's too much of a pain in the ass, too pricey. We did an Uber when we were down in Florida back in October to get from my brother's place. He had gotten an Airbnb or whatever the hell it was. And that was from there to the airport. And like, I guess I kind of sort of don't like consider that because I think, as you mentioned with the surge pricing and everything else like that, and I probably told this story before, but fuck it. You know, there was the very first Uber and like the guy showed up and he was in like a Chevy something or other that had like 3 rows of seats, able to get all of our shit in there, the whole deal. And like he showed up, he was wearing like a sports coat and slacks. He didn't have the snacks in the thing, but this definitely felt like a guy whose job is Uber.
Right. He's not, this isn't, as one of your favorite phrases, his side hustle.
Yeah. Fuck a side hustle.
Right.
And then on the way home from the cruise to the airport, it was one of those things where like, I'm gonna wait for an Uber or whatever it is. And there was like literally a guy with a van that was like already crammed up with people. He's like, I can get you guys in for $10. I'm like, here's $10. Here's our bags. Let's go. Right.
That's true dynamic pricing right
yes.
there. $10.
Again, the shuttle to and like the shuttle to and from the airport, the shuttle like from the airport to the parking lot. Like, I don't consider that to be like a taxi or an Uber or anything because it's like part of the deal, right?
Yeah, I mean, did you punch it in an app to have an Uber or a Lyft show up for you? Then if you say no, it doesn't count.
But what if I just like stood under the curb and I put my hand up? That's better than an app.
That's a taxi.
Okay.
There's a difference. Or a stranger.
Or a stranger.
Right.
Which essentially was a taxi or an Uber or whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where was I going with this? I haven't gone to the fast food places in a little bit. But there's been a lot of discourse online in regards to fast food pricing, and I'm not gonna claim this is a win for me. But it was either in the Wall Street Journal or the New York Post or one of them today,
right,
as we record this, that like, oh, you know what a fast food hack is? Ordering through the app. Because typically the prices are lower through the app, and if you sign up for the app, you get the free shit and everything else like that, so on and so forth. And then, like, even further still, Todd, I don't know when's the last time you ate at Arby's.
A couple months ago.
Oh, okay. So you're a regular Arby's eater.
No. Couple months ago, and then before that, it might have been a year.
Remember when we got the fish sandwich that they had? The special fish sandwich?
Yes, and we ate it at the shop.
Yeah.
I was there since then because they had like a rib sandwich that I wanted to try.
Yeah.
And that, don't ask me how it was because it was a long time ago. You know what I mean? But I remember getting that. And then maybe 2 times since then I went for the beef and cheddar because I'm a beef and cheddar man, you know?
Now, the reason I bring this up is because this week only, 5 for $5 is back at Arby's.
Does the beef and cheddar count?
Let me look.
Because if it doesn't, then that's not a true 5 for $5.
But the 5 for $5 is only good if you order it through the app. Like, you can't show up in the store.
Mm-hmm.
It says online members can get 5 classic roast beef sandwiches for $5. And then it says, enjoy, beefomaniacs.
Jesus Christ. Work yourself into a shoot, brother. I'll say this. If it's just the classics.
Yeah, it's just the classic.
You can keep your 5 for $5. No onion bun, I'm out.
All right.
Also, Mr., I order through the app and it's a hack. You know what that does? That takes away a man's job because they no longer need someone at the counter. They're trying to get rid of a job. And all you people for your ease and cheapness, just destroying people's livelihoods. That's what I'm saying you're doing. I'll go up to the window and or the person at the counter and proudly do my order, so I could help keep their job.
So, now, Todd, have you ever worked at a fast food place?
No, and I don't care. I just want to destroy your apps. That's all.
Other than the Cinnabon that you own?
Yeah, but I'm more of an idea man / manager. So
is there a Cinnabon app? I need to look.
I tried to shoot that down because Cinnabon to me is the company with a heart full of icing.
There is a Cinnabon app, and I don't like the logo. The logo that they use for the app is much different than the actual Cinnabon logo, and I don't like it.
Right. Well, I'll talk to somebody.
It says join Cinnabon rewards, blah, 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 exclusive deals, blah, blah. Okay. So, when you work at a fast food place, typically, and again, there's always outliers and everything else like this, but when you work at a fast food place, you're doing every job.
Right.
You come in like, today you're going to be fries. Today you're going to be drive-through. Today you're going to be the counter. Today you're going to be the grill. Today you're going to be prep. Today you're going to be this. So I say, ordering through the app sure, less people on the register, but that's more people to work in the back to get the food made and get everybody through quicker.
Yeah, that's exactly what these big companies are doing. They're going, we don't need somebody at the counter. So if there are 8 things you have to do at the restaurant, I never work fast food. So somebody has to work the fryer, somebody has to make the hamburgers, somebody has to do this, somebody has to do. So say there's 5 jobs and the counter.
It's more than 5, but I get you.
Right. I don't have, but if you do 5 jobs in the counter, so 6 altogether, and you don't need anybody at the counter now, they're not keeping 6 people to do the 5 jobs. They're just going to go, we don't need somebody there, so get rid of them. And by that, we have a whole hourly salary or pay that we're just going to put in our pocket because you're ordering through the app. If you tell me that they're going to keep 6, I'll call you a liar to your face all day.
I will say they will keep 6.
No, they won't. If that's
because
a job,
always, even if there's less people coming into the counter, there needs to be somebody at the counter for, and this brings it all back around, the people picking up the Uber Eats, Grubhub, whatever orders to make sure they're getting them correctly. If I do an online order and I choose pick up at the counter, there has to be a person there to do that. And I can't speak for most of the other fast food places. I can speak for McDonald's, and that's what we're kind of talking about right now. And I assume that this, holds true at most other fast food places. You need to have somebody there working it for the old people that come in and get their free coffee every day.
Wow. That's different. That's a counter thing. When it happens, when they get rid of counter people altogether and just have kiosks and like the touch screen and whatever, there'll be nobody helping people because that's what they want. They want somebody who doesn't help people because it's a buffer. It's just everything through this. If there's a mistake, you can't reach anybody. Go call a number to somebody in India and they'll get back to you. It's all to take away any helpfulness. I'm telling you. It's how they get you, Joe. It's how they get you.
And I know you're doing this a lot to be contrarian.
No, but go ahead.
But I do know a lot of... So, again, 6 of one, half a dozen the other. I said it once before. I'll say it again. I know most, if not all, fast food restaurants have a thing in place to get rid of, like, the fill your own cup thing in the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
They claim it's because of maintenance and upkeep on those machines. I think it's to discourage you from hanging out.
Yeah, and getting extra free soda.
But again, free soda, again, a nickel worth of soda.
What I mean. Extra soda.
You paid them $2.39 for a cup. You could fill that cup 15 times in one day, and they'll break even on you, right?
Right.
But the other thing is, and again, I can only speak from my direct thing, where you're saying like, oh, if you have a problem, they're going to direct you to India or whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. When I had the issue with the Wendy's all that time ago, and they finally fixed the problem, like it was the person who works at the Wendy's across the bridge. The Burger King around here, right in the window. You go in the front door, you go in the side door, you go through the drive-thru. This thing that on here and says, we are a locally owned and operated Burger King. We're part of a franchisee. My name is this. Here's my phone number. If you have a problem with your order, you contact me. The McDonald's that's over here. Granted, the signs at the McDonald's by me are all misspelled. Every non-McDonald's issued sign at the McDonald's by me is littered with misspellings. It's almost as though it's the June 1994 previews catalog.
Oh, my God. Okay. Now, while you're doing all this, I'm going to say this. Am I overplaying it for, entertainment? Yes. Do I believe almost everything I'm saying? Yes. Yeah, now you have somebody to talk to. But their goal is to have as few as they can humans in any establishment. As few as any. And if they think that they can get away with not having somebody there to complain to, they will do it, and they will like it, because any hoop they have to make you jump through to get your money back, to do whatever, not everybody's you, Joe. Somebody will just go, fuck this, I'm done, I'm walking away, I'm wiping my hands. And if they do that, like the soda, like you say, even if they get a nickel, if they save 10 cents a day over, or just say $100 a day in a place, they do that over all their restaurants, that's money in their pocket. If you walk away, not fighting to get your refund, that's money in their pocket. This is their goal, to streamline it so nobody has anybody to answer to. And and like I said, not a bit. I 100% believe this.
I disagree with you wholeheartely because one, kind of what you're saying, less people there. A fast food place having full or mostly automation for like food prep and stuff is still a long way away because of cost. Okay, well, that's number one. Unless it's like a boutique one where it's a pop-up limited menu where it's like you get a drink, you get a fries, and you get this one burger. That's it, and like that's your customization. Okay. There always has to be somebody physically there to open and close the store. And typically that's a manager or some sort of authority figure. So even if they're reducing the staff, it doesn't matter. There's going to be at least one person in charge that you could yell at. And I know that you said that not everyone is me, and that's a blessing and a curse for most people. But are you going to put these layers in to piss someone off that you just rip them off due to incompetence for $2.39, that they'll never come to your McDonald's again? Because it's not like my McDonald's pays in, like, granted, it all pays into the grand scheme of things, but me getting a value meal at my McDonald's, it's not like, well, this money goes to the McDonald's over on Washington Avenue, and the Washington Avenue money goes to this one and that one and that one. That's why they're all so proud to show, like, oh, we're locally owned and operated, and I'm the one who owns this one, to kind of put a name and a face to kind of make you feel like, oh, even though it's a McDonald's, it's a giant conglomerate, it's a giant chain, I'm supporting this guy. Even though he's probably way richer than I am, at least it's giving me a name and a face to this nameless and faceless corporate conglomerate to make people feel. And I will say, Todd, when you say most people will just be like, forget it. Apparently you don't watch, and I don't even know what they would be called, but like the YouTube videos of the people having freakouts.
Right. Oh no. And now maybe
have you seen the videos? Oh, go ahead. I got one more.
Said post. All right. Because sometimes my words get away from me. Words. But like I said, even if you get 1 out of 5, do you know what I mean? That's saving some money. But go ahead with what you're saying.
But have you seen? So have you seen the thing with Chipotle? I don't eat no Chipotle. I would never eat a Chipotle.
Right.
Have you seen the thing with online videos regarding Chipotle?
No, nothing at all, because I think Chipotle sucks.
Okay. So it was like, and again, I'm jinxing it by speaking it aloud. I've fixed my Facebook Shorts algorithm. I don't get it got to a point where like it was like near pornography, where it was just like women flashing like their naked bits for like a second, challenging you to freeze frame it. And they were doing a very poor job of doing that fraction of a second that you could freeze frame. So now what I get is my fast food stuff. I get my wrestling stuff. I get my comic book stuff. And because I'm an old man and I'm a dad, I get like home repair and lawn care and that sort of shit. I'm like, perfect, great, fantastic. Right. So, fast food hack. Everybody records everyone. Everyone's a food blogger. Everyone's whatever. Right. So if you go to Chipotle and you have your phone out and you make it like you're a food blogger and you're filming what they're doing,
right?
Typically, they'll give you a little bit more.
They'll give you the spoon and a half full of chicken.
Yeah, they'll give you the spoon and a half without doing it. Well, then that ends up being guy comes in, 2 guys come in, and I'm saying guy, people, woman, man, person. You got 6 people in line, all with their phones out, all at the same time, all filming the person behind Chipotle, and then maybe they get aggressive, maybe some do, maybe it gets a little out of hand. So now these people are just trying to work, and part of their job working at a fast food place was, I'm not going to be recorded by minimally 6 to 7 people at a time, 8 hours a day while I'm trying to do my job. And God forbid I do a spoon and a third as opposed to a spoon and a half. Then my store's going to get in trouble. I'm going to get in trouble, and I'm possibly going to lose my job because these guys want their half a spoon extra of guac without paying for it in their goddamn burrito or whatever the hell it is you get at Chipotle.
Right. And that leads me to what I believe is, and like I said, it's not going to happen overnight, and there's going to be no interaction. Like I'm saying, like now where you can see into the back of McDonald's, you can see into the back of that day is going to disappear. There's going to be a thing where you come in and you punch in, I want a Big Mac, no onions, extra cheese for Joe, blah, 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 this. And there's going to be no person that you can see. You're not going to be able to see the people in the background. There's just going to be a thing, and then your food slides out. And it's going to be like, there could be people back there.
You're just
now there's a buffer between the customer and the server. It's all impersonal. And if you have something to yell at, you yell at like a wall. There's nobody there. The person could come in the morning and open it and lock it up at night, but there's going to be little to no interaction between the customer and the people in the fast food joint. I wholeheartedly believe this.
I don't think that'll happen in your and I's lifetime.
Maybe not, but it's in short bursts. It's moving towards that.
Yeah.
You got to do it easy. You can't just ram it in, Joe. You gotta ease into your fast food changes.
Right. So, is that something I could see maybe in the next 50 years?
Yeah.
Sure. Is it going to happen in the next 5? No. Probably not.
No. But I could see it in little increments coming.
I want to see my half-cooked dough come out of the little oven at the Cinnabon.
I'll record it for you, so you can get an extra frosting because I'm recording.
Yeah.
I'll frost your Cinnabon for you.
Oh
Joe.
My goodness, that's a euphemism for something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know this. Having no agenda. I went to a wedding this weekend. I don't know. It was out in the middle of nowhere. So this is good. All right. We'll close with this, okay? So my kid's getting to be that age where he's sick and tired of dealing with pretty much everyone, right?
Good.
Right. He's gonna be 13 in 4 months, and it's day by day, right? He don't want to go to the wedding, and he's pitching to my wife, and he's like, Dad doesn't want to go to this wedding either. Let us stay home and you just go.
Wow. Kid's going to be a lawyer.
No, again.
A bad one, but a lawyer.
Is he right? Okay. Again, believe me, I would like to stay home and do everything that I want to do, which is nothing, but it's nice to go out. It's nice to be sociable. Things have turned around. It's, family that we don't get to see very often. And my son's thing is I don't even know anybody there. And the thing he does, it's just he cares not to remember these people, right?
I can understand that.
So we went to the service, which I didn't know we were going to the service, but even though the service started a little bit late, it was very quick. Priest, whatever, gets up there. He says he's got 5-7 minutes. They exchange vows. You do. All right. Down the road, across the street to the fire hall, it's time to eat, right? So it's quick. Right. So I give my kid a nudge while we're in the church. And I go, hey, you see how quick this is going? He goes, yeah. I go, your mother and I once went to a service 3 hours long. And he goes,
Russian
what?
Orthodox, baby.
There you go. And I go, they do the mass. They do the whole thing. Then they do it again, and then they do it in Russian. And he goes, what? Mm-hmm. And I go, so, when that time comes, and you're going to choose who you're going to be with for the rest of your life, keep that in mind.
Did they do the crowns thing?
They did.
Oh, that's the way my mother and father got married.
Uh-huh.
because my grandmother on my father's side was Russian Orthodox. And we always call that's the one where I've done this bit on this show before, where me and my brother called it the Scooby-Doo doors, that the priest will go in one door and come out the other door because it symbolizes something.
Yeah.
And we would cry because my grandfather would always say, he said, Todd, you know, I married your grandmother and your dad got married in the Russian Orthodox Church. And I'm going to tell you, you go to a wedding, you go to a funeral, it doesn't matter. If it's Russian Orthodox, pack a lunch, Todd. Pack a lunch. You're going to be there a while. And I was like, okay, that's exactly what it is. And to your son, I understand your son, because I used to go to the funerals for like my grandmother's family, like people I had no idea who they were. And we would go and it'd be like this cousin of a thing or whatever. And it's like, you have to represent. Family's family. Like, you have to represent. And I went to 2 or 3 of them. And then my father's brother died, that uncle. And I was like, okay, we go to the funeral. And I met all these people at the other funerals. And it happens. And I go, Dad, where was any of those fucks that we went to their funeral and I didn't know them? And he goes, yeah, they didn't show up. I said, I'm never going to another one of these third cousin, twice removed funerals again. Fuck them.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you're hot. I said, yeah, because we went represent, and I went for my grandmother who was alive still. I was like, but when our family dies, none of them show up? Like, unless I'm in the will, I'm not showing up.
I had a thing with this. Like, April will go to anyone, right? Like, you know, second cousin, twice removed, that sort of thing. And a lot of and she's got a very big family and extended family and everything else like that. You know, April and I are coming up here in like a month, being together as a couple, married, et cetera, for 24 years. Okay. My benchmark is, if in the 24 years that we've been together, I've never met this person, I don't have to go.
Smart man.
And that's anything. That's a life thing, that's a death thing, that's a whatever thing. I'm not good. Well, okay. I don't like going to those sort of things, right?
Well, who does? But yeah.
Nobody does. The only one that I did the only ones that I did the full thing for was my mom and my brother. Anybody else, I tell them, I go, I'm really uncomfortable at these things. I go, I know it's really important and I want to pay my respects. I go, so if I don't hang out long, I hope you understand why. And they do. I don't like to go. Right?
I don't either.
I don't have a will. I don't know what's going to happen when I die. But you know what's going to happen when I die?
What?
I don't know, because I'm dead.
Yeah.
I used to joke years and years ago that when April dies, I'm going to have her stuffed and keep her on the couch, right?
Right. Not a lot of stuffing in that little girl, though.
No.
Don't be cheap.
And, in my mind, I have an idea of what I would like to happen when I die, but no one's ever prepared for that sort of thing. But even if I have that and those are my last wishes, like, they could just say, fuck you, he's dead. No one, like, I'm seeing this,
right? Like we always joke. I said, you're going to go, if anything ever happens to me, you're going to go on with this podcast. And you're like, as far as you know, yeah.
Well, no, what I say is, no, it's done. But then I say, yeah, as far as you know, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
you'll listen to as many episodes in death as you did in life.
There you go. But I'll say this too. I'm the same way, like with going to funerals. But if I know you and and you're important to me, I will do bell to bell at the wake and at the funeral. Do you know what I mean? If you're important to me, like when people in your family passed away, I show now bell to bell. Whenever I get there, if work takes me away from it, and it's say like 4 to 7, and I get there at like 4:45, I'll stay the 5 to 7, and I'll meet people because I'm going to know people who walk through that door. Your friend, like, you know what I mean? And like other people. And I'll do battle and I'll do the funeral. But that's only if you're super, super, super like important to me. Anybody else, it's like the like, oh, I'm going to go up. I'm going to stand in front of the coffin at the wake and like do my grocery list in my head while it looks like I'm praying. Then I'm going to go over and I'm like, oh, my condolences, my condolences, my condolences, my condolences, my condolences. Are they looking? I'm out the door.
Yeah. And I'll let this be my living will if something was to happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
God forbid. No one is obligated to do anything.
Right.
Obviously, Todd has the nuclear codes if he needs to shut off the Patreon or whatever it is.
Right. I do.
April will have access to those sort of things, but we talked about it on the main show and how like these sort of things go suddenly, but no one is inclined to continue to do anything. Mm-hmm. Once I'm gone, if you want to, and Todd's still here, if you want to get to the Patreon, you can. I just have no idea how Todd is going to get that money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Hey, that was After Dark $4.99. How funny is that?
It'll be a monumentous next one. We better plan some because we always plan for the big episodes, Joe.
Yeah, we do. So I don't know. Sign up for the Patreon. We talk about the Patreon. We just recorded previewing the past for June this past week. Hey. We're going to be doing Dylan Dog.
Dead by Night.
Dead by Night, sure. Oh, and you know what? This is the one last thing I wanted to mention. This was the only thing that I had, and I completely forgot about it.
Jesus.
So, 3 movie shows ago, we did the Mark Pirro movies.
Right.
So all of Mark Pirro's movies are up on Tubi, as they should be, until all are one.
Right, except for Death Row Game Show, I think.
Except for Death Row Game Show, because the rights and the DVD and the Blu-ray and the deal or whatever it is that he signed with that. Mm-hmm. And he's putting all of the making of documentaries that are off the DVDs and stuff.
Yep.
And the one for Rick Tuma just got rejected by Tubi.
Oh, that's a badge of honor right there.
For content reasons.
Mm.
He goes, you have the movie. You've had the movie on your site for years, but you're refusing to put the making of with it.
Right. What? Fantastic.
Just to show you how, and again, I think we might have talked. I forget did we talk? And again, it might have been in cutting room floor. It might have been on the Patreon or whatever it was when we were talking about stuff with the Linnea Quigley horror workout and the way the edit of that appears on Tubi.
That was off air, I think.
Oh, okay. So this is a teaser for cutting room floor on the $100 level.
Right.
We were talking about that because that's one that I have on, like, I got the archive.org link, I got the Daily Motion link, I got the YouTube link, and I got the Tubi favorited, right? Mm-hmm. And there was a whole thing of people being like, oh, Tubi is purposely editing movies without letting the filmmakers know, and they specifically cited the Linnea Quigley horror workout. And I pulled it up on Tubi, and it's framed weird. And it has like a weird watermark in the bottom right-hand corner.
Right.
And yes, some of the nudity is edited out. Some of the nudity is edited out, not all of it. Mm-hmm. So I replied to the guy, I'm like, I think this is not Tubi purposely editing. I think this is whoever's in charge of these things at Tubi being lazy and not getting the best version that's readily available of this thing that's out there. Mm-hmm. And then he had specifically said, like, oh, these Full Moon Video, Charles Band movies, whatever, are edited and whatever. And I go, do you know if there's multiple versions that exist, like a TV edit and a this edit and a that edit? And Tubi just happened to grab the wrong one? And then they stopped replying to me.
Sure, because it doesn't, push the narrative. I was making
too much sense.
Right. Now, was the watermark DivX? Was that what the watermark was?
No, it was like a 4. I could pull it up right now.
Right, and I will also say to people,
I'm not going to pass any excuse to watch Linnea Quigley's horror workout.
Right,
even if it is the edited version.
And I'll say this to anybody: remember, if it's not the government doing it, it's not censorship. It's just editing at that point. Probably, like, okay. You have that on your, on the quick draw, Linnea Quigley.
Okay. So it's a watermark for a Canadian music channel called Fuse.
Fuse?
Yes.
I know Fuse, yes.
Okay. So that's the watermark that's at the bottom of the screen the whole time.
Right. So don't blame Tubi, blame Fuse.
Well, no, don't blame Tubi. Blame the person at Tubi who just grabbed the Fuse version that's on YouTube and uploaded that to the website instead of the version that I have off YouTube or I have off Dailymotion or I have off archive.org.
Now, is the Dailymotion one flipped?
No.
You know how, because a lot of times we've watched stuff on Dailymotion for the show,
yeah,
and it's like backwards, so copyright can't get at it?
Right.
Okay.
It is not. It is not flipped.
Fair enough.
All right, now that's the end of the show.
Yep.
I did a clap as though I'm going to do an edit there. I'm not going to do an edit. That's the end of the show. Thanks for listening, everybody. See you next week.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.